What up, Tag Nation? As you can see, we are here talking about WWE Survivor Series War Games. But first we got to hit y'all with that intro.
T.A.G.
That's tag shit.
Free fall as I die through the kaleidoscope in my mind. No rope up to climb. Gotta remind myself that I'm fine. Mama, I don't really want.
What up, Tag Nation? It's your boys representing Tag, here to discuss what else? WWE Survivor Series. You have myself, Scooter Ray, aka Scootaloo. You got the Forbidden Door, Juggernaut 097. And then you got the Heartbreaker, the Heartthrob, that cold-hearted, handsome devil down there himself, King Switch of Tag, YeagerBombastik, so fantastic. And then, of course, LipDizzle, just like the men's Survivor Series team, fifth member on Cody Rhodes' side, arrived in grand fashion. That's what Dizzle tends to do. He arrives in grand fashion. But like I said before, WWE Survivor Series. Of course, we will talk about that comeback, that return, and all of that stuff later. But to start us off, gentlemen, how did y'all feel about the show? Yeager, we'll go with you first. How did you feel about the show overall?
Overall, I was primarily checking in while I was doing other things, but from the highlights that I caught later on, and from what I was catching throughout the night, performance-wise, I mean, it was just, I think it was like how Lip put it. It was just like the most WWE booked match as far as booking went. But I mean,
Yes.
talent showed up. Talent did their thing. It was had it not been for the ending, I think it would have been like an otherwise by the books PLE for them.
Okay. Overall, I enjoyed it. There were two matches, of course, that were standouts, which was the bookends of the show. The three matches in the middle, little ups and downs, but overall, I enjoyed it. Now, Jugs, your perspective will be different because you were in attendance. You got to see the show
Oh yeah.
live and in person. So, speak to how that was being there for War Games in person.
Yeah, man, the atmosphere. I mean, Chicago. They always go crazy. The crowd was
Yes.
like on point. The two Survivor Series War Games matches were amazing. I say the women's War Games match was better than the men's. Like spots wise, like they had more hardcore stuff going on. So I thought
True.
that was good. And the matches in the middle were just like the women's title match. Like there were some matches in the middle that was like very predictable. Like you knew the way that it was going to go. So, but the ending, just put icing on the cake, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. Seeing that return of some certain guy that might be petty. He might not be petty. I don't know. We'll let you guys give your take on that. And then waiting, anticipating, see who that fifth member is going to be. Which
Yeah.
we'll talk about that here. But yeah, it was great being there live. I enjoyed myself. I would say this was probably the second best PLE behind Mania. Maybe I'll put it up there
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
behind
it was
Mania
actually pretty
91.
good. Like I said, I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. Like the two board games matches really brought up the score for me, but I actually
Mhm.
enjoyed it. Well, let's get into it. So, first match of the night, we had the women's war games. We had Team Bianca, consists of Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, Shotzi, and Becky Lynch, and Damage Control Bailey, women's champ Io Sky, Asuka, and Kairi Sane. Um, yeah, you can tell that Dakota's injury stopped it from being 5-on-5 as well. So, they had to scramble to make it the way they made it. But it was fine 4-on-4 for me.
Yeah, I'm happy it was just a 4-on-4 because they didn't need to add a fifth member. Like,
I
and
agree.
I'm wondering who would that fifth member would have been. I was thinking maybe Jade Cargill, but like, I think she's going to end up being down in NXT first, so I don't think it's right to put her on the team. Like,
Well,
so
well,
I
but
was just
she's
fine with
gonna
it
end
being
up there.
4-on-4. What's that?
But
Oh, not relevant.
but with this match, they did a fan vote, and with the fan vote and everything, Team Bianca had the advantage. And to start off the match, it was Bayley and Becky, and I can't remember who rotated, who was next, who was this, but Bayley and Bianca, Bayley and Becky started it off, and
Yeah, I was
I
surprised
could
those were two.
appreciate how they did it with every woman seamlessly kept bringing in more weapons and more things. It was like, yeah, we gonna do this, and Dakota was kind of showing her worth early by giving Bailey an early advantage with a kendo stick and things like that. And kind of like what Jugs was saying, the women made the match more hardcore. They made it, more spot heavy than the men, which it was fine to me. The one thing I dislike with war games, and even Blood and Guts is guilty of it too. I hate the spot of when a new person comes in, they just take over for a little while.
Yeah.
Like I kind of hate that little trope of, somebody new comes in, they show off their moves for like a good minute or two, and then boom, it's simmered down to a regular match. But the women showed out. The women showed up and showed out. Shouts outs to Io Sky, because Io Sky is the only woman to participate in every women's War Games match WWE has had. So that's an accomplishment within itself.
Sure.
Also, I love that spot she did with the trash can off the top of the cage. I
Look,
thought
it was even cool how they even did it.
Yeah,
the
with the
fact
whole
that she
chain,
had that chain,
yeah,
and Dakota had to hook the trash can. Then she just, yep, this is me now.
I was hoping that she would do that again.
Like that moment would have been a perfect EO with the trash can over her. Then boom. I bet you wondering how I got here. Well, I'll show you. So, but yeah. And then I even love how Charlotte too tried to get in on it by doing her moonsault and everything, and it was like, all right, that's cool, but you could have let EO have it. You could let EO, which surprisingly in this setting, I'm actually surprised Shotzi didn't do more extreme things.
Yeah, Shotzi, she was like selling on like the whole time. Like she took some nasty bumps. Like there was one point where she took this like I think it was like this DDT by I think it was by Bianca or someone.
Yeah, even the missus was like, Shotzi show taking a lot of punishment. And I was like, well,
which I've never been behind Shotzi that much. Like to be honest, I couldn't care less for Shotzi. Like he was just kind of there.
Bro. That's my horror.
I call her Shitzy. That's what I call her.
Wow.
Gonna hit on the girl.
I don't know. I never liked her in NXT that much, and like I don't like her now.
That's crazy.
But I was happy that Becky. I was kind of surprised that Becky and Bayley started off the match. Like that was very surprising. I thought it'd been like maybe Asuka and like Asuka and not Charlotte. Sorry, Asuka and Shotzi to start the match off or something like that. Also, we were thanking Asuka when she brought in that table. When we got thank you, Asuka.
Yes. Y'all crowd, y'all was really screaming for them tables and legitimately was booing anytime nobody wanted to bring in the tables.
And I couldn't
Like I thought that was so
couldn't really
funny.
tell what Asuka brought in. Like she brought in like these like kind of sticks or something. I don't know what they were, like ninja things or whatever. Like she brought those in, like, and she just kept on bringing them out from under the ring. I don't know what they were exactly, but it was kind of hilarious. But yeah, we were thinking Asuka when she did that.
Yeah, I
I
was
tell you what,
going.
Bailey, she was saving her team a lot during that
No,
match.
Bailey
Yeah.
was the MVP of that
Yeah.
match.
Yeah.
Like Bailey, like I understand when we look at the horsewomen, we look at Sasha, we look at Bailey, we look at Charlotte, we look at Becky. They look at Charlotte and Becky as like the two, but we're not gonna sit here and act like Sasha and Bailey were just like tag-alongs when it came to the horsewomen.
And they were tag team partners as well. So I see what you did there.
Like,
Yeah.
and furthermore, we're not gonna sit here and act like Bailey hasn't truly been working her ass off these last couple of years too. Like Bailey,
Yeah, 100%.
regardless of
You
if
know, I
you
would
like her character work or not, Bailey has proven to be a valuable asset not only to that women's division but to WWE altogether.
I agree.
So, but Bailey was definitely the MVP of that match. Like, I'm calling a spade a spade.
You know, I'm gonna say this right now. Bailey is gonna win the Royal Rumble next year. She's gonna win the Women's Royal Rumble next year. I see it.
I can see it too. I could potentially see it.
So,
I see her I see like eventually Damage Control breaking up. You know.
Oh yeah,
I see that.
especially
Maybe her being the one that gets kicked out.
Kyrie and Oscar being there. I can 100%. I could see the cracks starting to form now because with Bailey taking the pinfall.
Yeah, taking that manhandle slam. That
yeah.
was a nice spot through that table. Yeah, I like that.
Because especially since Bailey is supposed to be like the leader of Damage Control, I can see that now. That her taking the pinfall, which I mean, to be fair, she took like massive amount of punishment towards the end of that match. Then took a manhandle slam from the middle rope onto the table. Come on now.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna make not Charlotte. I thought they were gonna make Shotzi take the pin.
I thought
that
so
was the
too,
reason why
especially when she hit her top rope senton. I thought, she was gonna be the one to get that dub. And there goes the man, the myth himself. Like I said, just like Team Cody's fifth member, he arrives in grand fucking fashion, Mr. LipDizzle.
Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yeah, we can hear you good.
All right, good.
Coming in like an audio boat.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
We still can't hear you, but yeah. Like you whispering to the people.
I'm sorry, I was doing my
You doing your ASMR right now?
I was.
Before we move on, you got anything to say about the women's war game match before we go to the next match? Which I'm glad you showed up right on time, by the way.
Oh, I gotta say one more thing before
ahead.
the docs. So when I was there live, like I had no idea at the beginning of the match who had the advantage. Did they told that on commentary? Yeah, who had the advantage? Yeah, so I had no idea until that person came out of that cage, came out of that.
Well, so they did the women different because I would have thought the tag match they had on Friday was to determine the advantage, but on SmackDown they said that they was going to do some type of fan vote.
It was stupid,
and they wasn't going to know till Saturday.
It was stupid.
It's probably rigged.
It was very stupid.
It was very rigged and stupid.
It was like some Taboo Tuesday-esque voting.
Yeah.
I think it was like the Ruffles or Slim Jim vote or whatever, and
it was Ruffles.
Left it up to the fans, which of course they're gonna pick the faces, which is fucking stupid. But I digress. The only thing that I'll say about this match, two things I'll say about this match. One, the women had the better match. Hands down.
Jug said the same thing.
Hands down. And then two, God damn, Kyrie.
Yes, chat. Yes, Tag Nation. In our chat, Mr. Diesel was crushing on Miss Sang.
Like, I'm
Yes,
so
man.
I'm so
Yes,
glad
man.
that she came at the right time, because you know, Gigi Dolan went and got engaged and shit, and it was like kind of left a void. And then Kyrie came in and just like just swooped right in. Um, yeah, I think that's all my thoughts.
All right. Well, I'm gonna let you take the reins of this next one because you said you had some things to get off your chest. Oh, sorry. If you didn't catch it, the women team Bianca gets the dub here. And we'll see on Friday where that leaves damage control and everything. So the next match for the Intercontinental Championship, we have the longest reigning champion, Gunther, defending against 8-time champ, The Miz. And shouts out to Michael Cole, because I'm glad he said it, because they didn't say it on Raw, but he did say it on the PLE. He did acknowledge that if The Miz would have won, he would have tied Chris Jericho. So I do appreciate.
Oh yeah, he didn't mention that.
Because, like
Yeah.
I said, they didn't say it Monday, but he did say it on the PLE. See, Loki. See, thank you, Loki. Yeah. So, Mr. Deasley, I'm gonna let you take it because you said you had some bars to get off your chest when it came to this match.
Yeah. Now, first and foremost, like the match itself wasn't a bad match.
No.
My expectations for what this should have been is what kind of let me down the most. And it's not that I'm mad that Miz went out there and had his match with Gunther. I mean, that's cool. I'm mad because Miz missed an opportunity to put him in a position of where you could look at him and say, oh, he could still be put in the main event scene. He could still be in contention for another world title down the line. Looking at this match and looking at my expectations of what this should have been, Miz missed the mark. He missed the mark because we've seen better matches from him with people that he gets along with. People, I mean, one of his best friends, Dolph Ziggler.
Yep.
You know, case in point, anytime that they've had their matches, whether it be singles match, whether it be for the Intercontinental Championship, whether it be in a ladder match, whatever the case is, they've always put out a solid match because of the chemistry that they have. The thing is here, the reason why my expectations were so high is because you can't have a bad match with Gunther. You can't. It's
hard to.
impossible. You have to try to have a bad match with Gunther. You know, and this is the kind of the same thing that we said, you know, about Jay White in AEW. You know, like there's expectation that you have when there's certain parameters that's put in place. This is one of those parameters. You have a Miz who is a very safe worker put with arguably one of the best professional wrestlers in the fucking world.
I mean, I'm gonna just say this to piggyback off of that. To deny Gunther at this point, or even Walter, whatever iteration you want to know him as, to deny him at this point, you can't be a hater all your life.
Absolutely. And like, I mean, it's no question that everybody already knew that Gunther was not going to lose this match.
No.
He was not going to lose. Yeah.
There's no point. This was just meant to be a showcase. This was a favor to be done to the Miz because everybody already knew. Nobody was expecting anything. Everybody was looking at this as a bathroom-worthy match. Now, granted, Miz pulled out some stuff, you know, in his moveset that a lot of people hadn't seen before, and I appreciate that. But that's not what I wanted because I had faith of, you know, for the Miz going in because of what he's had to overcome throughout his tenure within WWE. You know, it's very well documented, and I'm mad for this particular reason. He's starting to tread the waters as far as Titus O'Neil. He's going that lane. Not to say that, like, as far as bad wrestler, he's more as he's moving towards going to be a WWE ambassador. Yeah. You know, because he's going to be that guy that they go to do, you know, all the pressers or all these other events here. He's going into that lane. He's good on the mic, absolutely, but him being good on the mic only works for him being a public speaker or doing stuff for WWE that needs to be done as far as business goes. But as far as the in-ring stuff, he deserves more, but he has to show more at the same time. And he didn't do that for me last night, and that's why I'm mad. But other than that, I mean, yeah, it's a typical Gunther match. You know, Gunther's always going to show out. He's a perfect Intercontinental Champion at this point in time. And one thing I will note is the press conference and how he acknowledged the fact that, you know, when one of the journalists had asked him about
being champ,
being champ, and his answer in response to that was fucking perfect. It's like, in time, it's like, right now I'm doing what I'm doing here. You know, I'll get to that point, but right now, you know, this is where I'm at. This is what I want to do. Like, this is like, it's no rush. It's like, I'm making this great. Like, I'm making this shit what it needs to be.
He's elevating that title.
Yeah. And that is the epitome of this person makes the title, not the title making that person.
Facts.
And whoever they decide to take this off of Gunther, if he does, as long as he doesn't pull a Samoa Joe and just leave that shit in the ring, whoever he puts over is going to get one hell of a stamp of approval. It's just not the Miz, you know. So, and it shouldn't be CM Punk.
At this point, I don't know who I want to dethrone Gunther.
Yeah, really, I can't think of anybody to dethrone him right now. Like, I'll say let him hold on to that till Mania, or maybe have him drop it at Mania. I mean, he can't be at the Elimination Chamber show because, isn't something like with his visa or something like that? I don't know. Well, he's not able.
I think they did say he had potential issues that he might miss Elimination Chamber.
But yeah, I mean, this match, I mean, there was a lot of people behind the Miz here. You know, when I was there, I was very surprised about that. But after seeing that promo on Monday Night Raw, it was just like, I was expecting a lot going into this match. I go like, man, this is gonna be one of the best matches of the night, and it just like felt like a typical, like you said, this is a typical Gunther match. And I mean, the Miz, he did some, you know, nice moves in the match. There was one point where I actually thought he was going to win the title when he did that low blow and then hit the Skull Crusher finale. I thought, oh god, he's going to win the title. Which I
figured that it was just going to be what it was, him getting that low blow off.
I'm surprised Chicago was like actually popping for the Miz though. Like, what? Like, it's more of like they pop for the heels, but like, what? That made no sense at all.
But yeah, Gunther remains champ. I think they said he was at 500 and something days now, and we'll see where it takes him. We'll see who the number one contender will be now for good old Gunther, because Mans is looking undefeatable right now, undefeatable. And the next match was purely a showcase match that I truly appreciated. There was a little switcheroo, because originally it was supposed to be Santos Escobar and Carlito. If you watched the Go Home show of SmackDown, Santos did a flying knee to Carlito's arm/shoulder and put him out of commission, and Dragon Lee kind of defended Carlito. And Nick Aldis was going to take the match off the card until Dragon Lee was like, nah, I'll do it. So, boom. Dragon Lee, Santos Escobar. Santos has definitely reverted back to his Legado del Fantasma days. And, you know, he's embracing being the bad guy, you know, and we're here. And this was purely a showcase match. I can appreciate that these two men went out and had a pretty solid, pretty decent match. Yeah, this match could have been done on SmackDown, but I can appreciate in this setting that they did not disappoint. That they went out and had a pretty solid match, especially for Dragon Lee to only be there, 2 months on the main roster?
Basically.
And Santos, first time truly get a chance to showcase some things. So I can appreciate this match myself. Granted, I knew Santos was going to win, but I can still appreciate it.
The one thing that WWE has right now, and I don't want to say if it's Triple H's doing or if they just, you know, have their finger on the pulse, but WWE's Latin market at this point in time is the best that it can be as far as like
Who's there?
main entertainment professional wrestling goes. Because of the fact that you have a Dragon Lee, a Santos, I guess you can say, you know, the rest of LWO, they all can speak English very well. You know, it's not broken, it's nothing like that. Like, and even the ones that do have somewhat broken English, they find a way to mask it the best way they can. But as far as the forefront right now, Santos speaks way better than an Alberto Del Rio. You know, he is very well spoken in both English and Spanish. He has the look, he has the height, he has the skill set, and he has the charisma to be able to hold his own in a potential main event scene. And I appreciate that. And I think they're doing the best that they can with him. And on top of that, he works way better as a heel.
And I'm about to say, if you look at Santos, his face and demeanor screams heel.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's not like a slight on him, people.
No, not a slight on him.
There's some people that work better. There's some people that this look like heels. Like, you know, you just look at their face and they look like a heel. You know what I mean? And they play better heels also, and that's what Santos does.
Yes, and I think we're heading towards, and I mean it's been hinted at, but I think we're heading towards a resurgence of like the 90s NWO Black and White, or NWO Hollywood and Wolfpack situation here. I think that we're gonna end up getting a split with the LWO as far as it probably being LWO and then a Legado del Fantasma type situation, which I think would highlight a lot of the Latin stars within WWE and give a lot more opportunity. This definitely blows what I said out the water as far as like Damian Priest or Dominic taking over LWO, which I still think would be a fantastic move. But I think if you're going to utilize this to build up a new star outside of Dominic and Priest, then Santos is the best candidate for that. And then to bring in a Dragon Lee to basically kind of pick up the reins of where Rey Mysterio is going to kind of having the torch handed to him from Rey Mysterio. I think that's probably the best thing that you could do at this point, because they're putting a small rocket on Dragon Lee.
Yes.
And it's subtle. It's very subtle, but it's coming off as organic, and I like the fact that they're doing it that way as well. So shout out to them for that. Whoever's behind that shit.
But yeah, gentlemen, other Jaeger, Jugs, anything y'all want to say before we move on to the next title match?
I wasn't honestly too heavily invested in this match.
Understandable.
Yeah, this match was actually my piss break here. I went to the bathroom during this match.
They deserve 5 more minutes.
5 more minutes.
I agree with you.
I caught glimpses of this match, but
It's fair.
I mean, I like that. I mean, Dragon Lee, you know, he's pulling out some, you know, big high spots in this match. Santos, you know, we were cussing, we were saying F you to Santos in Spanish and stuff. I'm like, what are they saying right now? And then like they'll tell him to F off. And then we're calling him puto. We kept calling him that, and then
Skull.
It was very funny. Like I enjoyed
Santos, you got me on your side, baby. LDF with you. But yeah, Santos picks up the win, hits that Phantom Driver on Dragon Lee, 1, 2, 3, and we'll see what happens on SmackDown. We'll see what happens. Now the next match for the WWE Women's World Championship we have the Eradicator, mommy herself, Rhea Ripley, going against Zoe Stark. If you didn't know, Zoe Stark got the opportunity for winning a Battle Royal, and she was exuding all the confidence in the world that she could dethrone Rhea, because they were playing off of the fact that Rhea has so much going on that, is Rhea truly focused on this match? And that was like the big story going in. And we here. And I'm going to say this. The way Dizzle was crushing on Kyrie Sane, that's how I was with Rhea Ripley.
I thought you were
Her
about to say
whole
Zoe Stark.
attire, her whole look, it was like, Buddy Murphy, do not fumble.
Please do not fumble, my man.
Do not fumble, Buddy Murphy. Do not fumble.
Don't fumble the
Because
bag there.
there will be many men, in the words of 50 Cent, many men beating down that woman's door if you fumble this.
Now
But
listen here, I gotta say this. Mommy's always on top.
yes, this was a solid match. You can 100%. So kind of like what Dizzle was saying about Becky Lynch having the NXT Women's Championship and going against people to kind of give them better shine. This is how this match was. There was not one point I thought Zoe was going to win, but you could definitely tell this is to showcase Zoe. This is to let y'all know that Zoe can hang, that Zoe could like it won't be crazy to see Zoe as a women's champion in WWE. So, and I can appreciate that.
Fair.
Because there was times she had the champ reeling. There was times that she had the champ down. I mean, she could never hit that Z360, but she was hitting her with everything else. And ultimately, of course, like Jug said, mommy's gonna be on top, and Rhea hit that riptide 1, 2, 3.
I mean, yeah, Zoe, she had some pretty nice, she did some pretty nice spots in this match. I really like this. I think it was like a DDT on the apron. That was a pretty nice spot in the match. I mean, the crowd, they're just definitely behind Rhea Ripley, which I'm pretty sure that Rhea Ripley eventually is going to be doing a face turn. She's definitely, I feel like, which I think I'll get to. But I feel like she could be eventually kicked out of Judgment Day for some certain reasons. But we'll see. Which maybe I'll talk about in the main event.
Personally speaking, in order for Rhea to turn face, she's gonna have to disappear.
Like a little bit.
She's gonna have to disappear for a little bit, like a small vacation, because I can't see what could make her turn face right now.
Mm-hmm.
Considering if you're looking at the women's division, she's the big bad.
That's true.
So, in order for her to go face, crossing fingers is not because of an injury. It's just, she loses the title, she takes some time off, come back as a face. But
which I don't see her losing the title anytime soon.
But I think I prefer Rhea better as a heel.
I agree.
Well,
personally speaking,
and that's the thing that's going to happen here with Rhea. Because one, she will take time off, probably after Mania, because again, her and Buddy Murphy are engaged, or Buddy Matthews are engaged. So there's going to be a wedding at some point. So she's going to have to take time off. So that's their window for that. 2, I don't think that she's going to come back as a full-on face. I think that she may be like a tweener, anti-hero or a tweener in a way.
Yeah.
Because it's more organic for her to be like that type of loner that's basically like, I'll just fight everybody, fuck it. And then fans be drawn to that. So we won't have to get a drastic change like we probably will get with Bayley. Bayley clearly, and I know we're kind of, because I forgot to talk about that as far as the war games.
Go ahead, bring it up. We're still talking about the women.
They're gonna pull like the sympathy card for Bayley, because I mean, if you look at that whole match, how she was basically the MVP, saving everybody. the moment that they turn on her, it's going to be her basically and the fans being behind her basically like, well, she was the one that was taking all the bullets for y'all. It's like, y'all are dicks for that. You know,
I mean, hell, she even took the bullet
Yeah, she
yesterday.
took that pinball. Yeah.
So that's going to be the thing there. So I think we could be potentially looking at an EO and Bailey Mania spot if that's
And I was saying this right now. I was saying earlier. I said mark my words right now. Bailey's going to win the Rumble next year. I see it.
Oh, I didn't think about her as far as going. Yeah, that's a way to stretch it out. That's perfect. Yeah,
But yeah. So, oh, go ahead.
But as far as Zoe though, Zoe has the offense and believability in her offense that Shayna Baszler should have had when she first came up. Because you look at Zoe, you look at her build, you look at her offense, everything is believable at what she does, which is why she looks so good against Rhea, which is why she looks so good with anybody, to be perfectly honest. But I do agree that she will be a champ at some point because they wouldn't give her, Trisha's stamp and Becky's stamp of approval if that wasn't the case. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah. So
this match. Yeah, this match was definitely interesting.
Oh yeah, how was the crowd with this match?
Yeah, I mean they were most definitely behind Rhea here. I mean Zoe Starks. I mean I don't know. She just seems one-dimensional to me. I mean not one-dimensional. Like her character seems one-dimensional. Like she doesn't have much of a character to her. Like
which is
other
fine.
than being like Trisha's sidekick. I said I want Trish back. Like I'm missing Trish. Thank you, Trish. But other than that, like she doesn't have much going for her character. I mean, she's good in the ring. She hit some pretty nice spots. But yeah, Rhea was not going to lose here, not at all. Yeager, you got anything?
No, we already knew that Rhea wasn't going to lose here. Zoe Starks did initially come off pretty bland to me as far as NXT performances go. Like, even when she had the belt, I was kind of like, why? But her athleticism is to be acknowledged despite her, I don't want to say generic appeal, but it is what it is in that regard. But no, like she's put in her time. She's liked by at least the crowd to have been brought up this far. So we'll see where she's going, and as far as the long term goes, and see if she can get out of or get into some kind of spotlight.
All right. Well, we're here now. We're in the main event, the men's Survivor Series match. We had Afro mentioned by LipDizzle in the chat, Team Judgment Drew with Judgment.
Oh, no, that was Yeager.
Oh, that was Yeager?
Yeah,
oh, my bad.
I called it Judgment Drew.
My bad, Yeager. Team Judgment Drew, the team of Damian Priest, Finn Balor, JD Madonna, Dominic Mysterio, Drew McIntyre versus the team of the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, the champ Seth freaking Rollins, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, and the returning Randy Orton, which before the match started, Randy was not there.
You said JD McDonough's name wrong. His actual name is Mini Finney. He's
Mini Finney.
I am not calling him that.
Mini Finney.
I am not calling him
that. Oh my God.
He deserves more respect than that. That is JD Madonna. I am not going to call him that. I'll call him square head because he does have a square ass head. So I would not call him that.
His body doesn't look proportional. I don't know his head
because his head too damn square. But so of course going into the match, we knew from Monday Cody made the phone call for Randy. It was like, okay, hey, Randy's a no-show, so they even played into it. Judgment Drew came out all together. Then they gave everybody on Team Seth individual interests, which I could appreciate them doing that with Jey Uso because when he climbed upon him on that damn short cage, he had the whole crowd rocking.
Yeah, it was
that crazy. Man is over. Jey Uso is over.
Main
If
event,
there was
Jay.
any doubt. But so of course there was no Randy, so it was like, oh shit, what's gonna happen? Seth Rollins, Finn Balor started off the match.
I like
Judgment
how
Day
Seth started off
had
the
the
match.
advantage, and it kicked off from there because the first two men, being Seth and Finn, reignited a robbery, and it was go time from jump. So earlier, y'all said that y'all like the women's match more. I'm kind of split. I'm kind of split 50-50 between them.
Oh, I'll explain why.
Oh, go ahead. Let us know. Let us know.
This is part of the problem with having two War Games matches, is because you have to book them a certain way, because all of us being wrestling fans back in the day, WCW, the way they built War Games, it was always one War Games match.
Yes.
Period. And that's the one that you looked forward to because it was, basically gang warfare, for lack of a better term.
Mm-hmm.
And it was built up like that. With Damage Control and Team Bianca, this is something that has been built up in a more violent way than the men's. The men's felt more WWE, like brand warfare, SmackDown versus Raw type of build, than it felt as far as like a blood feud. If you look back at last year where you had the stuff with the Bloodline, that seemed more violent because Bloodline was running roughshod across WWE as a whole. With this, I kind of checked out during this match because I was more focused on the whole Randy Orton stuff, on if he was going to show up or not, or what was going to happen there, versus me being enthralled in the match. As the match is going on,
put a quick pin in that. A couple of years back, that was the same complaint Jim Cornette had. He said the issue with two matches like that, if one match seems more brutal, then it's like, okay, how can the other match top what the first one did? And in this case, with them letting the women go first, they used more weapons. They had more of these high spots. Then it was like, okay, well, that means the men got to go out there and damn near do some hangman swerve type shit. Which we know damn well that wasn't going to happen. But still, you thought, and kind of like what you said, even last year with the Bloodline versus Team Brawling Brutes, there was violence all over that rings last year.
And also in this match, you had all these over-the-top characters, like all these like big egos, like it was crazy. Like when they were all doing the entrances, everybody singing Seth Rollins' song, we all singing Cody, all doing the Jey Uso stuff. And everybody had the big ego, so there was more drama, more of the soap opera in this match, more drama. Like that
was brought up in Cody Rhodes' press conference because one of the guys told Cody, how did it feel teaming up with the Avengers?
Yeah, that's what this basically was. This was like an Avengers movie. That's what this felt like, all these big egos.
So, of course, alternating people comes in when it's time for Team Seth's fifth person. Who music hits? Judgment Days. Rhea Ripley comes out with a ref with a briefcase because it's like, nah, Priest about to cash in right now. Then it was like, oh shit. The next thing you know, Randy's music hits and everybody's kind of looking like, he ain't here. Then in steps this, coming from the shadows, we see him. And when we finally recognize it's him, Randall Orton comes out there, and Randall Orton is jacked.
He's in some great shape, man.
Randall Orton was looking good. Shout out to Westside Gunn in that picture too. But Randall Orton was looking good. I was like, he did not let injury slow him down. He stayed in shape. He even looks in better shape than he was when he was with RK Bro. And I even like his whole demeanor. He got in that ring. He looked at all 5 of them men and was like, "What y'all want to do? Who first? Who doing this?" And of course, they saying
Also,
Dominic and JD, but
I also like how he teased, with Orton and Jay. How I was
yes,
like, oh man,
yes.
is he going to turn on Jay? Because like that was going through the back of my mind, and
Well,
like,
watching Raw was funny because when Cody was making the announcement, Jay Uso was in that corner like, shit.
King was like, oh shit, like we took him out a couple years ago. We put him on the shelf for a couple years. Yeah, Randy Orton, he was this wrecking stuff. I like the all the DDTs that they were hitting, like all
Yes,
the
yes.
team Cody. That RKO, that mid-air RKO
Look here.
or like off the top of the cage.
There had to been someone who was gonna have to take a high spot. And unfortunately, we thought it was gonna be maybe Dominic, but no, it was JD Madonna. They threw JD's ass off that top rope and fed him to a waiting Viper who hit a hellacious RKO, and it was like,
that was beautiful.
Poor man.
Sir.
Man, that man was a legit sacrifice.
Legit sacrifice. And I can even appreciate Randy looking up and tell Cody, no, you do this. You pull the switch. You pull the trigger. He hits the crossroad on Damien. 1, 2, 3. Team Seth wins. And it was like,
I was
dang.
very surprised. Like they made both face team wins. It was crazy.
Well,
like
so looking at it, because in our predictions, looking at it, Damage Control was running roughshod over SmackDown. They had to get their comeuppance. You're talking about they injured Bianca. They pulled Shotzi in this with, them shaving her head. Charlotte, could never get her fair match against EO because of the others. And then, let's just call Becky for the sake of bringing star power. Same thing with this. We couldn't let the Bloodline lose last year because they were so dominant. Judgment Day can take the hit. They still got all the gold.
They still been pretty dominant as well.
Yeah,
Like,
and they still have all the gold other than the World Heavyweight Championship. So
like they have been the dominant storyline ever since like the whole summer.
Yeah, that was my notion of picking the face teams because it was like at some point they got to get their comeuppance.
I will say emphatically, fuck all of that. And the reason is why,
look, go ahead.
The reason why I say that, because I get that booking mindset about them Muppets, but the problem is, and it's the same for both losing teams. Damage Control, for one, was running roughshod with just Bailey, EO, and Dakota. Sometimes just EO and Bailey. But you had them gain not 1, but 2 extra people, one of which is one of the best women's wrestlers on the roster. Asuka. And you tell me that you gain that much of an advantage in your stable after you was just doing all the damage, no pun intended, with just 2, maybe 3 people at a time, and now you have 5 credible people altogether. Of course, you got to minus Dakota because she's injured, but you have those numbers and you're not doing more damage than you were before. I don't give a shit if you got Becky on your team.
Yeah, that's where I lose the believability.
So there's that part. Damage can, as far as Judgment Day, I get it because you got Dom and you got JD on your squad. That's all right.
But still,
but you added a pissed off Drew McIntyre, who you've been building. And sidebar, I feel so bad
for Drew.
I feel so bad for Drew.
Yeah, because
and we'll get into it later, I'm sure. Obviously, with the post show shit.
Yes.
But if this has anything to do with all of that, I get it. I fucking get it, because the shit with the WrestleMania shit with Gunther, that's you technically should take that L because Gunther's doing a hell of a job with the IC title.
And plus, upon realizing it, Gunther was chasing history.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Then you got the shit with Roman, and
once again, Roman chasing history.
He may be chasing history, and that's fine. And that's fine. But there's been opportunity after opportunity to pull the trigger for Drew, especially like what's the point of you building Drew to a certain point to just have him take the fall on so many things back to back to back? You know, WrestleMania, understandable. The shit in his home, home country
of Cardiff. Yep.
See, I thought that was a right opportunity to take the title. If they wanted to take the title off of Roman Reigns, that would have been the right opportunity.
And I can even say, you know what? That's fine. You don't want to give it to him. Cool. But then you put him up against Rollins after Rollins had not one, but 2 matches with Shinsuke, who I would leave 3 matches against Shinsuke, which I would have been like, you know what? You know, Shinsuke should be the one to take that title. But after Shinsuke's done all that kayfabe damage to Rollins, and now you got a pissed off Drew he goes up against, and Drew still can't get the job done. And now this, I get it. If Drew wanted to walk out that door right now, I'd be like, I don't blame you.
Let's put our Drew. Let's try to go into the mind of Drew McIntyre. Do you think we're gonna get Drew Galloway again, or you think he's gonna stay Drew McIntyre?
I think he eventually leaves.
Wait, I think that let me clarify, because I don't know if Scoot, if you're saying this as far as staying or leaving.
Yeah, staying or leaving. Like leaving, of course, he goes back to Drew Galloway. Staying, he stays Drew McIntyre.
No, he's going to go be with TK. He's going to be champion over there.
It's see, with everything that's happened, everything that I just stated, it's hard for me to
going back to TNA.
It's hard for me to say that he would stay, because all of this is grounds for being like, hey, I have a justifiable reason for just getting the fuck out, because I see how I'm being treated in this regard. Because he still hasn't signed a new contract.
No, and he only got a couple of months left.
So, and you know what? Well, I'll get into the other part of that once we talk about the post shit.
But yeah, so of course, you know, this show was capped off with a huge return. You know, and who'd have thunk it? Who'd have guessed it? Everybody's here favorite wrestler, R-Truth, made his return last night. And Lord, it was a breath of fresh air to see Truth back on the TV.
It's refreshing.
Very refreshing. But I'm pretty sure y'all are not.
R-Truth for champ. He's gonna be champion.
I'm pretty sure y'all are not wanting to hear about R-Truth. Of course, the men, the team Cody, team Seth, had about 30 seconds of celebration, and the music was interrupted by Yeager's favorite wrestler in the world. The return of CM Punk. Pepsi Field. Chicago made. Chick Magnet. Charles Montgomery.
No.
He is back.
You know, Yeager, I feel like you were at this show. You want to know why?
He was back after.
Because I was right there with Seth Rollins screaming, "Fuck that!"
Because there was wait.
We're gonna get to Rollins' reaction in a minute, but let's just. Okay, so I'm gonna say this. My brother and I have been kind of teasing it the whole time, and I was even teasing it with Ashley that Punk's music is gonna hit and he gonna come, because I was saying that maybe he might be the fifth. Maybe they might pull a mulligan and he might be the fifth. But when his music legitimately hit, I sat there and I was like, "Oh shit, like, this is
Yeah, that's the
legitimately
way I was.
happening."
That's the way I
So
was.
before we continue, Yeager, no, I'm sorry, not Yeager. Sorry, wrong person. Jugs, could you hear your own thoughts? Because I'm pretty sure everybody lost their collective shit. So could you
The
even
roof,
hear yourself think?
the roof blew off that place. Like you cannot hear yourself think. When I heard that, I got no way. We're getting trolled right now. Like this is no way. He came out. I just lost my shit. No, I was saying Jaeger. I'm pretty sure you were there because this person behind me said, "Fuck CM Punk," and I got what? I'm surprised this guy didn't get jumped in Chicago because he's thought as of a god there. And man, we got Randy, but then we get CM Punk here. And the reason why the reason why they said that Randy was going to be a partner on Monday was, go like, okay, it's not going to be CM Punk. CM Punk's not going to be there. And also people going like, oh, CM Punk, he's been spotted in Target. Yeah, well, he's from Chicago. I mean, what do you
Right?
expect? People are going to see him around. Oh, he was spotted at a Blackhawks game. He probably has season tickets to Blackhawks games. It's like the fans sometimes I just
No, man. Anytime you randomly encounter a celebrity, it's meant to be something.
That's true. But yeah,
All
the
right.
roof just blew out that place, and
So now that we heard Jugs from the standpoint of being there, Yeager, what was your thoughts seeing Pepsi Field back in the E?
I mean, of course he was. But from the little reports that I have read, that apparently this was thrown together pretty quickly. It looks like this
Yes,
may have been
Triple
a
H
decision
mentioned
from,
it.
yeah, it may have been a decision from on high, like maybe Endeavor, people that are also in the boardroom with Triple H, who are, no?
It was very tight-lipped. I
Yeah.
think
Well,
Khan.
I know. Oh, go ahead.
Khan, I think they had been talking about it. They had talked previously as far as working out a deal. I think Khan pinned a deal maybe a week prior, and I think Trips had spoke with, as far as him showing up, that was agreed upon that morning, yesterday morning.
Okay.
Because there was no previous plan for him to show up at Survivor Series, but I think they had spoke that morning, and then it just kind of came together, and then he ended up showing up. And nobody else. I know there's a bunch of reports that's contradictory to each other, that's speculating that a lot of people knew, other people knew. He basically had kind of walked in, and it was surprise. It was surprise to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was like
But
split 50. It was like split 50-50 because I was asking a lot of people around there, and they were like, "Oh yeah, Punk's gonna show up. Oh no, Punk's not gonna be showing up. No, he's not showing up." Which I didn't believe it because I didn't want to get my hopes up for it. I'm like, no, Punk's not.
Solidification right there.
There it is, right there.
Right there.
And apparently he walked in like a few minutes, like right when like the main event was going on. Like he walked in like right then. Like so nobody knew. Like he probably had his hood up. Nobody knew that was him. Like yeah, the whole arena it was just nuts. You couldn't hear yourself think.
All right. With that being said, Mr. Deasley, how did you feel seeing Punk show back up?
well, as far as immediate reactions, I was in the middle of messaging y'all when I was talking about the damn show, and I was like, well, that was kind of a basic bitch show for the most part. I mean, it was cool, but it was like everything. Oh, that's when I said it's the most WWE booked PLE.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I hit send, and then I was getting ready to mess something else, and then that music hit, and I was like, wait, what the fuck? Because I was surprised because I wasn't expecting the shit. And kudos to Trips for booking that masterfully, because he was basically like, all right, hit the copyright mark, and then hit Punk's music. So he planned that shit because I think he wasn't in Gorilla, I think, for the majority of the show, and I think he went into Gorilla during the main event and then made the call to do that. I will have to eat my words because when we talked about Punk after All In, and Scoot, you posed the question of, do we see Punk going to WWE? And I, without hesitation, said, fuck no.
I said the exact same thing.
I mean, well, anything is possible in the world of wrestling now.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, during that time, of course, Vince McMahon was still hovering around WWE.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was.
Triple H has masterful lobbying skills. You know, he knows how to put shit aside and say, hey, business is business.
You know what? He knows what's best for business.
True. Absolutely. And I think that this is clearly all him. Absolutely. And money talks. You know, they say all controversy is good controversy, all publicity is good publicity. And one thing that he said is that people talk about Punk. And they do.
Tony Khan's probably shit his pants.
And thank you, Jugs. I'm glad you brought that up. Because two things. One, just like I talked about with the Will Ospreay thing, like that was an FU to WWE. This was an FU as a response to AEW. Now, here's the thing, and it's a hard truth that a lot of people won't be able to swallow. WWE is going to be able to utilize Punk now better than AEW, because the Punk, as far as Pipe Bomb Punk, the Summer of Punk, that would have been the Punk that you send to an AEW, you know, during that time. That's that Punk. The Punk,
it was a grumpy old man that was at AEW.
Correct. And that's the Punk that needs to be in WWE, because there's I know I'm going to say this a little bit wrong, but there's a certain box that you put him in that keeps him contained as far as WWE, because they know how to talk or know how to cater to grown men. And I know that sounds like I'm sliding AEW, and I'm not.
No. Only reason why it's going to sound like a slight is because, I mean, Cody said it himself when he was still there. Sometimes the organization, I think even Jericho said it, sometimes the organization and sometimes the getting a hold and a wrangle on things is tougher in AEW.
And it's like you got that younger talent backstage and they don't want to listen to an old head like CM Punk. You know, they don't want to take advice from him. You know, the young buck.
And you know, in WWE's case, you have a this is what I say goes almost type of mentality. So it's easy to hate children.
It's ran
Go
more
in your respective corners. And think about this. You know, while in AEW's case, it wasn't like that.
That's what it is. Thank you, Scoot. It's time-tested structure.
Yeah, it's a structure. Thank you. Structure.
It's a level of structure that WWE has attained over its longevity that AEW has not attained yet, because they still are in a position where they're still trying to figure out, you know, what kind of company that their foundation is going to stand on. Because I still think that they're still trying a lot of things right now. And I think that's good for them, because I think as long as they keep trying out things, which puts them in a position where, you know, they're able to cater to their right market, you know, which is why they're able to get away with a lot of things, i.e., you know, Swerve and Paige match that we've just seen, which was fucking amazing.
Yes.
And you're not going to get that in WWE because they're more publicly traded. They have certain lines that they will not cross. But at the same time, there's a level of understanding across the board as what will fly and what won't fly. And a seasoned Punk right now needs that level of structure in order for him to be at peace, you know, and not as disgruntled as he would be, because during that time, WWE was still in that, post ruthless aggression era where you still, you had your John Cena, they were catering to children at that time, versus coming out of the Attitude Era, where a lot of things were able to cross a certain threshold. And Punk couldn't thrive at that point. He couldn't thrive in a position of, hey, this is who we're going with. Dwayne's here, so him and Cena is the marquee match. They need to have the title. We can't put that on you, so we'll put you over here because you're not slotted in yet. And a Punk at that time couldn't understand that, because it's like, well, I'm doing this, so I deserve to be here, which rightfully so at that point. And that's where now I think there's a level of understanding that he has coming into this, putting bygones, letting bygones be bygones, and actually coming back to WWE, because we already know what this is. He has signed a multi-year deal, but I think
3-year deal.
This is more so him being there for maybe 1 to 2 years as far as in-ring stuff. And then I think they'll probably slot him, as far as a part-timer in certain cases. And then he'll go into the Hall of Fame, which is ultimately what a lot of these guys who are WWE alumni want, And maybe, Lord willing, the percentage is very low, but hopefully AJ is slotted in this fucking deal.
Yeah, I hope AJ. Yeah, she needs to come back.
Now, with everything that's been said, the video that was released soon after Survivor Series goes off the air. Of course, I can't run the video because I don't want the video to get copyrighted. But I will share an image from said video. One person.
Now we know
very not happy.
We know that that Yeager grew his hair out.
Yes.
We'll let you people know that is not Yeager.
That's not Yeager.
Yeager, is that you?
Now, with this happening and kind of everything Dizzle has been saying, the video that was released, how much does this help WWE now that CM Punk is back?
Immensely.
Yeah, this helps out so much. And I'm wondering if, like, this is some like real heat with him. Because I mean, Seth Rollins has gone on to say, that CM Punk is a cancer. He doesn't want him in the WWE.
If WWE,
but listen, they can make so much.
If WWE can get Edge and Matt Hardy to work together,
true.
I think they could make this happen.
I feel like they could make so much money off of this. This would be This would be a great WrestleMania match. Like, because Punk has never had a big WrestleMania moment. So take the title off of Rollins at Mania for CM Punk to do that. That'd be his like big Mania moment.
I mean, I remember saying it at Crown Jewel that we're in the age after Rollins retained over McIntyre. I said we are in an age to where CM Punk could be the one to take the belt off of Rollins.
I really believe it now. Like, I think they can make a really good feud out of this. Like, really start building up.
I mean, it will. Whether it's work or shoot, they don't have a choice but to make a feud out of it, because of the traction that it's already gotten so far.
And I think it's kind of too. I don't think they should do Punk and Roman, because I think that would really hurt. Like, even though Roman has gone to say he doesn't want Punk in the company.
Oh no, Cody is gonna somehow find his way on SmackDown. With CM Punk now being on Raw, because Punk and Orton are supposed to be on Raw Monday. With CM Punk, somehow Cody's gonna wind up on SmackDown. It was shown secretly that you can see that Cody was talking to Nick Aldis in his office. Somebody, keen-eyed people noticed that was Cody's suit. He randomly showed up on SmackDown to save LA Knight. So somehow Cody's about to find his way on SmackDown.
I still
And
think
that's what they did that trade for, you know, with Jay
Well, no,
Uso.
well, no, the trade was for KO. It was KO and Jey Uso.
Okay.
correct.
Yeah.
I had said that Cody was going to be part of, like, he got Jay over so it can be for him to go to SmackDown. I still believe that deal is still connected to Jay. I just don't. I think there's something else to it. I could be wrong because I'm
Yeah.
you know I'm reaching, but at the same time, the other caveat would be the fact that this instance with Punk could also have some telling effects of that as well. But thank you, Jugs, for reminding me about this fucking Punk having a match thing. That's another thing that they're going to do that AEW didn't, and that's make sure that Punk is perfectly ring ready. Because I think Punk had too much leniency to not be ring ready, which is why he made a lot of mistakes in the ring in AEW. I think that they're going to make sure that he gets all the rust out and is able to go in and put on a Punk worthy offense, you know, in time for WrestleMania. I don't think he gets in the ring for at least 2 months.
I could totally see him not having any match until Rumble if they're gonna
I
stretch it.
mean, do they? Maybe they have him. Okay, maybe they have him in the Rumble. He doesn't win. You know, he tries to figure out a way to, you know, face. I don't know. He doesn't win. Maybe he gets frustrated, something like that. You know, like being punked the way that he is. You know, he gets frustrated. I don't know. It'd be interesting how they would book him.
So we know for sure.
Hey,
Thank you, Lucky. We know for sure at Elimination Chamber, we're going to get either one or two chambers. We're either going to get Seth Rollins defending his belt at Chamber, or we're going to get a Roman Reigns #1 contender. Because we know, because let's just go ahead and put it out there. We know they're not going to book Cody to win the Rumble 2 years in a row.
Correct.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. I could see that happening.
No, I don't see them booking Cody winning. I feel they're going to put somebody else, but I do feel there's going to be a Roman Reigns #1 contender at Elimination Chamber to see who faces him at Mania.
That's
And
what
I can
Cody
see
goes.
Cody, huh?
That's what Cody wins. Yeah.
The number
And I can see Cody winning that, and that's him getting his get back at Roman at Mania
would you
next year.
Would you say Punk wins the Rumble? And
If Punk don't win the Rumble, which I can 100% see it. I mean, they had Edge win the Rumble.
You know, I think that would have been like,
Yeah.
you know, Chicago's his hometown. Okay, you know, I understand you're bringing here Survivor Series, but you know, we already had Randy, which people saying that Punk's return outshadowed Randy's, which I definitely agree with that.
It did.
I think that if they wanted to have Punk return, they should have done that at the Rumble. You know, kept it hush. You know, kept it quiet. You know, because you know, like I said, the reason why they brought, you know, they announced Randy on Monday was like, no, Punk's not showing up. Punk's not showing up. But maybe should have kept it that way, and just had Punk show up at the Rumble, be a surprise entrant, and then win the Rumble.
Definitely Rumble.
They couldn't get past that shock factor. They weren't going to miss out on that. They knew what they were doing with that shit.
Yeah.
Then again, now that I was there live, like I fucking lost my shit.
Speaking of you being there live, what time did y'all even leave that damn arena after Punk showed up?
Oh, it wasn't until like 11:30 midnight.
But I'm pretty sure the crowd was just too damn geeked up over the fact that Punk was there. So
yeah, like I wish I was part of the media had a media pass, media credentials, you know, to be back there, you know, asking the questions.
Well, I'll also say too, watching the press conference, nothing was too telling. Triple H, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Whatever feelings you had towards Triple H back in the day or whatever, he has transitioned exceedingly well in whatever role he has in the WWE.
Absolutely.
He knows how to give amazing answers. He knows how to answer you without, you know, making you like, Trips, what the fuck did you just say to me? Because like when Dizzle brought it up earlier, one of the people, first question, hey, so how did this Punk deal come about? Did Endeavor have hands in it? And Triple H was like, he paused for a second and he was like, nah, it just happened. We worked it out. When I say that it was very last minute, it happened on the fly type thing. Like, he answered everything straight.
Now if it was Tony Khan, he'd be trying to, he'd be rambling on so much.
Yeah.
And he would be, you wouldn't know what the hell he's saying. Like he'd just be fumbling around.
But yeah, Trips gave very great answers. And, even the questions weren't really that,
Hey, I'm sorry. By the way, TK, if you're watching, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't mean that. I wanna. If I ever come to an AEW pay-per-view, I want to get, my media credentials. I want to go back.
Turn your way at the door.
Oh, I almost forgot something else. So I start to realize they let Michael Cole be a little more free on commentary on PLEs because he did bring up the fact Cody made history in that same building too.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
okay.
Michael Cole did say WWE's history, and then he said, hey, even Cody himself started an event here. And I was like, oh shit.
Oh, shit,
so
indeed.
And that was one of the questions that was brought up to Cody, asking him, you and Punk essentially came from the other side. How does it feel now being on this side and everything? And Cody was like, yeah, me and my friends, we did start something great. And, once again, these guys are very media trained. These guys know how to answer these questions without jamming themselves up.
Without actually dropping names and like saying people from other place. Yeah, they're very professional about it. Yeah, I agree with that.
Even Trips talked up and like even if it could be, a lie, he made Endeavor look good when they asked about it because he was like, they trust us, enough to make these decisions, so that he's like that it's telling on how well they all work together, saying that even if they didn't know about the deal and they just kind of found out about it, even if Endeavor is pissed about it, they're at least like, at least at face value, we're all working well together. They trust us to make this decision, so on and so forth. But yeah, he definitely, like Jug said, media trained out the ass. And I think that's why they chose who they chose to speak at the press conference, because I thought we were going to get, Punk there and talking up a fucking storm. Because
I'm happy we didn't get Punk here. I wonder, because I'm anticipated to watch Raw now for the first time in a long time.
That's why they did it. That's exactly why they did it.
Because I'm wondering what he's going to say. Like
first time since Mania.
I'm pretty sure he's going to open up the show. He's going to be. I wonder if he's going to. You think he's going to talk about the other place? You think he's going to drop AEW?
You know what's crazy? Now, WWE announced these shows months ago. So imagine you buying tickets to Nashville, Tennessee. Like, hey, we're going to go to Raw. And then now you like, wait, we didn't have tickets to Raw. And we going to see Randy Orton and CM Punk. And we bought these tickets back in July. Like, that has to be crazy knowing that you're going to be part of essentially an historic Raw unknowingly.
Yeah.
Unknowingly. But so both Punk and Orton are scheduled to be on Raw Monday. We might get some answers. We might not. We'll see what happens with Judgment Day. It's gonna be a very interesting Raw. Very interesting.
And speaking of Judgment Day, and I forgot to talk about this. This was the reason why I kind of had picked Judgment Day to win, because I thought one or two things were gonna happen. Well,
you'll probably say a couple.
I assumed they were going to win, as far as just being, because I picked both heel teams to win because they had Drew. but I also had that whole that because we didn't think that we were gonna get CM Punk. We thought we were gonna get Randy Orton. I thought Randy Orton was gonna work a light match, which he did.
Yeah.
But I didn't think he was gonna be in there long, which is why I thought they were gonna win. And I thought they were gonna pull the trigger on Priest cashing in and
Yeah,
ending the
that
show
was
like
also running. That was also running through my mind because I was telling one of my buddies. I was saying, "Hey, what if?" Because we never had this in a War Games match. This will be like history here. What if Priest cashes in during the War Games match? And good thing you brought that up there because like I was thinking like Rhea Ripley might be the one maybe to eventually maybe cost Damian Priest of cashing in that briefcase. And then, like that's how I think she might get kicked out. I don't know. I might be throwing a Hail Mary there, but
funny enough, it wasn't until Rhea came out that I never thought of Priest cashing in.
Really?
you really never thought of
that thought never crossed my mind until Rhea came out.
That was so smart there. Like I dude, that was clever thinking. Like you had the clock ticking down. It's like kind of like Royal Rumble there.
Yep,
like,
it was.
Oh, like who the hell are you expecting to come
that
out?
was
like,
the most anticipated 3 minutes when when Dominic came out and Dominic.
Also, that was the longest time
out.
Dominic was behind bars.
Funny enough, Michael Cole said that.
I
saw someone.
But that was the most anticipated 3 minutes in WWE because they put the time clock up at 15. At 15 seconds, they had the clock up there. But that whole time, I never thought about Priest cashing in.
Yeah, that was just running through my mind, because there's no title, there's no world title on the line, so I'm like, take it. And then Seth Rollins starting off the match also, taking all that punishment in the match. Like, to be honest, I don't see Rollins losing the title anytime soon. Like I said, this is a great way to book Damian Priest. Cashing in will be like, like you're a few weeks out from Money in the Bank. He's scrambling around. I think I said this before. He's Damian Priest is scrambling around. But what if they do this? Okay, he cashes in on the night of Money in the Bank. Okay, so he cashes in on the champion, and then guess what? The Money in the Bank winner comes out and cashes on him. So we got 2 cash-ins.
I will throw my controller at the TV.
I honestly would be just as mad, only because it's like you let this shit marinate for this long.
Yes,
with Priest, just to do this bullshit,
cash it down again. Yeah,
like
yes. I don't know which controller I'm gonna throw at the TV, but a controller is getting thrown at the TV.
I don't.
Yeah, that's throwing some things at the wall there. That's like I don't see that happening. But that'd be cool to see him. Be like a month out. He's scrambling around trying to cash it in. I think that'd be pretty interesting.
But yeah, so I will say this: if not Monday night, because Raw does stay on the 10 o'clock. If not Monday, possibly Tuesday, I will try to do a quick tag on Raw because this is going to be a very anticipated Raw. So be on the lookout for a quick tag on Raw because I got to discuss the goings and on since, we got a returning Phil, which still is like, I really don't know how I feel about this, though. To be honest with you.
You don't know how you feel about Phil?
I don't know how I feel about Phil.
Well,
Phil got me in my feelings right now.
Nah, man. Phil's gonna be probably the same exact way. Maybe
I feel like he'll be more censored. He'll be more.
You think he'll let himself be censored though? Like he might play nice for a little bit, but if he's unable to work with more lax people than Tony Khan.
No, Dizzle said it best. When you look at that paycheck and see them zeros, it's gonna make you act right.
Man, I hope so.
I think there's a lot more like in this locker room. There's a lot more grown men back here who will.
What the hell does that even mean?
Well, I mean, look at all the people. Yeah, I think. Let's play devil's advocate for 1 second. Not saying I'm defending Phil. let's play devil's advocate. Look at the people who he fought at AEW, or rumored to fight. The Elite, guys who got over on their own. Ryan Nemeth, who was independent this whole time.
Jack
And of course,
Perry.
Jack Perry, who got over on his own. When you have a guy who has been in a system like Ring of Honor and WWE and is used to a team or used to a machine being behind you, he's not used to people who did it on their own. So if you're trying to give advice to people who's done, oh, sorry, and Hangman, we can't forget Hangman. Sorry. If you're trying to give advice or trying to tell people who's done it on their own, hey, you should do A instead of B, they gonna look at you like, I'm who I am because I did it my way. I understand your way, Phil, and who got you over and how you got over, but I did it my way, and look where I'm at.
Well,
Now,
Here's the issue with that, though, because CM Punk didn't want to be a yes man to the people that didn't want to listen to him. But
I
now
mean,
but now he's going to go to a company where just instead of people younger than him are going to be telling him what to do, it'll be people older than him telling him what to do. And then he's still going to want to get his way on things, and he's still going to want people to listen to him. And if anything that he pitches doesn't meld well with whatever the hell the company wants, be that Endeavor or WWE,
mhm.
then how much you going to bet he's going to be sitting right up there on that stage with his legs crossed again?
Well,
well,
once again, to piggyback off that, though you are right, and that could still happen, but at the same time, what Dizzle said, that magical word, structure,
Yeah.
compared to the freeness of AEW. Because once again, look at the crux of the fight between him and Jack Perry. I wanted to use glass for a spot.
That
And
was really on Punk for trying. Like, why do you care that much what another employee,
but
not
see,
yourself,
but
wants to do?
see, when it comes to structure, they know one, WWE is not going to do nothing like that. They're not
Was
going
he
to have glass
assigned that
spots.
position as structure?
Hell, they
And
barely
also
have table spots.
Tony Khan
So,
should have stepped in before that, when they had their whole altercation
but,
backstage. Like,
no. So once again, structure and what's the word I'm looking for? Tenure. Tony Khan is still new at this.
Yeah.
and he also he said that he feared for his life, when those monitors when the monitors fell
Yeah.
in his lap.
here's the issue. Well, the main issue in all of that. The thing is, Punk is somebody who did it on his own, which is why WWE went after him.
Mm-hmm.
So Punk understands what it means to be the guy that the Bucks, Hangman, Jack Perry, he understands how it is to be in their shoes because he was there. That's also their gripe with him, because it's more or less of, you've been here, you know how it is. You should understand all we're doing is what you did to get noticed. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem here is that Punk was that guy and then went to WWE, where he still had that same mentality. He was them in WWE. And then when he went against the system and, for lack of a better term, lost and went away for 10 years, he became disgruntled, but he had also an understanding of how things work in a business sense, because he did go to the UFC and he had to abide by certain things that they had to deal with. So he grew mentally in that sense. So when he went to AEW, he was also slotted in a position of, hey, I'm this veteran. And we talked about this before, where he was in that position, but he didn't know how to be in that position. He couldn't, he always wanted to be a locker room leader, but couldn't be that because he hadn't been in WWE long enough to gain that structure there, because he was too busy fighting the system at that point. And then when he left, it's almost like being promoted to a position that you're not prepared for, and then still trying to lead in that position when other people around you know better. And the thing is with him is that you're telling other people who were you at some point how you were doing that and how they're doing it here. But because you're in this position, you don't want to be told this is what it is when you feel that you're supposed to be the person who was supposed to be telling them
Yeah,
how to
because
do
at the
certain
same
things.
breath, once again, it wasn't reports. He beefed with Kingston, Moxley, Jericho, Christian Cage, or he didn't beef with other veterans in that sense. He beefed with the new faces of wrestling and established wrestling. He didn't beef with people we know in that sense.
Yeah.
He beefed with the elite, Jack Perry, Ryan Nemeth. It wasn't like Jericho, Moxley, people
Also,
like that.
that
It
Ryan
was,
Nemeth one was so random.
it
No,
was
hold
very
on.
random.
Scoot, you said something perfect. You
Uh-huh.
said something perfect. And I think this is the reason why it's so easy for Punk to go back to WWE. Because it's almost like he's able to see what WWE was dealing with him at the time. So him having that understanding also to the point now is the reason why this works in his favor, because I think he's gained perspective as far as how to ride the wave, for lack of a better term. Now, do I think that this is 100% guarantee that Punk is not going to fudge up a situation with some type of controversy? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But there's a greater chance for it not to happen now with the idea that
being more
he's gained
structured.
perspective. Yeah. And the fact that Trips is kind of manning the ship here.
And it's not, Vince. If Vince was still manning it, then we might be in a different situation. Like we might not even be talking about Punk right now. He wouldn't be in WWE right now.
Because
But then
so
again,
far,
Vince did fly out, to Cody's house. So, he does try to amend relationships. But
because so far to us that we know that was public to us, Seth Rollins is the only detractor. Because we saw Rhea Ripley's reaction, and Rhea Ripley's reaction could simply be her just being a heel. We don't know how Rhea truly feels about Punk, but we heard Seth Rollins himself say some things, calling him a cancer, Phil, stay away. All of this, we saw that fucking Corey Graves and Michael Cole had to hold him back.
Hold him back, yeah.
So as we know right now, Seth Rollins is his only detractor.
Well, Drew's was a 50-50.
Huh?
Drew's was a 50-50.
And Drew was 50-50 because, one, we don't know where Drew's head is at. We don't know if Drew was out the door. So we don't know what. So Drew is kind of 50-50.
They were both told before this match happened, right?
What's up?
That was the word that everybody was told before the match happened that Phil was going to show up.
So we don't know for sure if this is genuine or a work.
Exactly. And that's the other part. That's what I'm about to get at. In Seth Rollins' case, we really don't know if this a work or a shoot.
I think it's more of a work if it's Seth Rollins. I think it's possibly genuine from Drew McIntyre.
Yes, because Drew was already frustrated.
But he didn't make a scene about it or anything. He just left,
Yeah, he just left.
His storm out was kayfabe. They reported that.
Oh, it is? Oh, okay.
There were reports where once he got to the locker room, people close to him that were talking to him say that part of that was because of Punk. And then that's when he actually left the arena.
Yeah.
So that's why I said it's 50-50, because I get like him leaving to not make a scene, which goes back to people talking highly about Drew being able to, talk to media and everything without, throwing shade or throwing salt on anybody. Rollins, they did report that he stormed backstage looking for Punk, but then was veered away from that area. That part, I believe that may be work shoot, to where it's like now it's like art imitates life in a situation. So they're going to make something out of that.
What did Punk do? Storm back? Well, he didn't storm backstage. Actually, they was looking for Punk. But yeah,
Punk ran up on freaking
Punk
Jungle
ran
Boy.
up on Jungle Boy, and
yeah.
Rollins is trying to run up on Punk. That's all.
Yeah, we'll see.
It seems like about to join the bandwagon and be a whole bunch of talking about Punk in the next months.
Rollins runs up to Punk going, "I love Lou Perry, you son of a bitch."
He's gonna end up going to the other company. He's going to AEW.
I'm gonna say this.
Rollins
if they
AEW.
book the program between Punk and Seth Rollins, be prepared to hear some fire promos between the two.
That'll be fire.
I'm hoping. Like
they are going to trade shots. They are going to trade artillery with each other, because Rollins is going to mention his time at the other company. They are going to trade artillery with each other. So be prepared. But anything else anybody got to say about Survivor Series, CM Punk? Anything else?
Nah, not as far as that.
Well, before we go, Jugs, overall, what do you give that experience? Would you actually be in there live, and what would you rate that overall experience?
Shoot, like, man, like, me being biased here, like, oh man, I'm gonna give that a 9 out of 10.
Understand? Understand?
Like, I don't know. I mean, I would say 10 out of 10, but like, oh fuck, I'm just gonna say 10 out of 10 because that like I said, I wasn't expecting Punk to see Punk there.
Yeah,
like I'm saying, he's not showing up. He's not showing up, and like I felt like a little kid again, going to a WWE live event, and like being a big main 4 pay-per-view. I mean, even though people don't like say this isn't as as big as, I mean, this isn't as big as WrestleMania. This is as big as Rumble, as big as SummerSlam. But boy, like seeing those 2 War Games matches in person, I mean that was pretty fire. And in the Allstate Arena of Chicago, Illinois. I mean, it doesn't get any bigger than that. I mean, if you want to go to like Madison Square Garden, I mean, that's pretty big too, and like other big, or like Philadelphia. But man, it was amazing.
Nice.
Well, Mr. Deasley, I'm gonna let you go ahead and do the honor.
Well, I'll go ahead and say unofficially, officially, congrats to the new champ, which
it's the name.
If Jugs would have just picked for the bonuses, I think I still would have been champ. That's fine.
It's the name of tonight.
Not acknowledged.
Yeah, I completely forgot to pick for the bonuses. I was just all because my internet wasn't working the greatest at the venue.
It's okay. It's okay.
I mean, look, I'm gonna just say this in closing. It's great to make history, and though I love my Bang Bang Gang brethren, you don't have to be in that shortest title reign category by yourself now.
Damn, bro.
I mean, you have company now.
Wait. When did you Dizzle? When did you win the title? Was it at Full Gear? No.
Yeah. It was at Full Gear.
It was at Full Gear.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
I love my Bang Bang Gang brethren, but just let him know.
All right.
He doesn't have to have that record by himself.
Yeah, it sucks. I have the longest and shortest reign.
And see, that's the one thing. That's the 2 things about being the history maker of tag. I can never be the first, so I'm still trying to take that longest reigning.
Hey, you know what? I'm the first ever Forbidden Door.
That is true.
I think you'll be the only, unless
I think you'll be the only.
Comes out of nowhere.
Unless somebody else comes out of nowhere.
But you'll always be the first.
Those 2 records that I can never be the first champion, and I'm chasing that other one.
Taking the other one. Damn, no.
I'm chasing that longest reigning, but it's cool.
I mean, look, it's 84 days. The only person that's come close to knocking out the 84 days has been Yeager, and that was with 72. But
and boy, 72, that's impressive within itself too. I mean, so to put it in perspective, 84 days is fucking impressive. I mean, that's a lot of damn pay-per-views, PLEs, whatever. And to still come out on the top like that,
I was
fucking
going
impressive.
strong. I was going strong. I was predicting with the best of them.
And then even having 72, it's still like, and then now going into 2024, it's going to be defenses everywhere. So
Yeah,
to
because with the
truly
rumors
have
of
a,
AEW doing more pay-per-views.
so to truly have a long adjacent reign in 2024, that's going to be magical for whoever that could be.
All I can do is beat my own record, which I will. But regardless,
the Chris Jericho of predictions,
whatever.
like how Jericho is 9-time Intercontinental Champion, I'm 9-time predictions champion.
I'm sick of it.
And I have
I'm not even gonna say anything. You know, I'm not even gonna say anything because
in 2 weeks we'll do this again for deadline. But that one I'm truly waiting for is December 30th, World's End, because we know
that your world's gonna end with
even if it does end, I am destined to get it back. Even if
we'll see.
But go ahead and sign us out.
Look, people,
former champ.
Whether you whether you loved it, hate it, don't forget to rate it, thumbs up, thumbs down, leave all your comments, concerns, questions down below. Ladies, leave all your contact information down for that man right there. Give your congratulations to that guy down there.
It's fine. You don't have to. You
don't give your congratulations to him. Don't give.
It's cool. It's fine.
Go ahead and acknowledge the Forbidden Door and knock on Jugs' YouTube channel door to go watch his shit and get indulged in that. But tag that subscribe button. You know, hit the notification bell. Like all the shit that you see.
Right.
And until you see these handsome faces and immaculate voices.
Yeah.
I bid you all adieu. I'll warm up the hand for that good old too sweet to the bros with a good old bada bam. And until next time, we bid you all adieu. And as always, tag the fucketh. Ow.